Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Courtney if you don't know me already, and on my channel I do reaction videos to all things America and other stuff as well. So if you want to get a New Zealander's perspective, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. In today's video we are checking out what life is like for an ex-president of the United States. So I heard that presidents of the United States, once they finish their term, they get Secret Service for the rest of their life or some kind of bodyguards for the rest of their life, but I'm not sure the details. So this is going to be interesting to see. I guess as well this is what President Donald Trump is going to be going through as well, and I guess President Obama is living through this life at the moment as well, so obviously all the previous presidents of the United States, but we shall see what happens afterwards. I'm sure once you become president of the United States you're always going to be protected, which is super interesting because it's like, I don't know if I'd want to do that, you know, that's like a commitment for your whole life. So let's check this video out, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this video and let's get into it.
There is nothing more pathetic in life than a former president. These words and variations of them, authored by former President John Quincy Adams, show up in just about every major article on the subject. But if you pay any attention to the news, you'll see that's probably not the case. Today, we're exploring what life is really like for an ex-president. Before we get started, we have an executive order for you to subscribe to the channel and let us know who your favorite president is. Ladies and gentlemen, the ex-presidents of the United States. Even if you were young and vigorous before your presidency, by now you feel like you're in danger of collapsing into a pile of dust. The stress that transforms a president is a force of nature. Lucky for you, there's really no need to recover from it to survive.
Yikes.
Thanks to the 1958 Former Presidents Act, the U.S. pays ex-presidents a lifetime pension. In 1958, it was $25,000 a year, which works out to about $218,000 a year in 2019 money.
Damn!
Today, they actually get a little less. The pension of an ex-president with a clean discharge from office is based on the salary of an active cabinet member, $210,700. A healthy sum, especially compared with what the widow of an ex-president gets, a paltry 20 grand. Now, check this out. Those who make, let's say, less glorious exit from office, Tricky Dick Nixon, for example, still have a shot at that fat pension. But only if they quit before they can be impeached for their crimes. Provided they do resign in time, they'll still get $210,700 every year until they die, which won't be for some time if they put their free health care and paid travel to good use. Doesn't matter what they did or didn't do to lose their job, because their new job is to save face, and Uncle Sam is happy to let taxpayers foot the bill, bless his tiny little beard.
Yes, see, this is what I was saying.
Not all endless money and rainbow golf at Camp David. Being president means you never, ever, ever get to be alone. Ever, ever.
It would suck.
Not even when you're done being president. 2012 saw the passage of a law reversing 1994's 10-year limit on Secret Service protection for former presidents. As of 2013, the Secret Service is tasked with watching over every ex-president until death do them part. As with the pension, this protection does not extend to the family. The children are inexplicably left on their own after they hit 16 and, you know, begin driving places on their own for the first time in their lives. Out in public, unescorted, bearing the surname of someone who still merits an armed guard at 90. First ladies are punished with the removal of all rights to protection should they divorce and remarry, regardless of how much the general public hates them or how their presidential partner treated them. This is the very definition of a catch-22. Shall we count the number of presidential divorcees? No? Bad luck, Melania. You're stuck with him, although there is that 20 grand to look forward to.
Oh my god, y'all.
What with the pension, the elite security detail, and more things that seem just a little unfair in this economy or any other, a library of your own is a luxury this country can ill afford, right? Actually, this one makes more sense than the rest, but it requires a bit of background. FDR, known for applying a veritable alphabet soup to reforms to American law books, arranged for a library/museum to archive his many, many, many records. We at Weird History have benefited quite a lot from that tradition. Thanks, Frank. Public officials used to dump their old correspondences and junk into boxes and shove them into attics like good, sane people. This deviation into normalcy on the part of politicians is a real heartbreaker for historians. George Washington's nephew reported that his uncle's papers were very extensively mutilated by rats and otherwise injured by damp. The world may never know what weird history was lost. President Truman spent a great deal of time maintaining his library after departing the Oval Office, which was a very decent thing to do considering how much time and effort those places demand. There's a very good incentive on the part of the president to keep his notes in good order, as we'll see next.
All right.
Let's face it, it takes a very special kind of person to not only envision him or herself as commander-in-chief of a nation over 300 million strong, decide to go through with it, campaign for office, win that office, and stay in that office for 4 to 8 years without getting into serious trouble. Most of us are not that person. A lot of us would like to know what it's like to be that person. Decision Points, George W. Bush's book, sold 1.5 million copies and earned him $7 million. Bill Clinton got a $15 million advance for his book, My Life, which sold over 2.25 million copies and won a Grammy in its audiobook form, narrated by Clinton himself. By 2017, the Obamas had already received $65 million in advances for their books. Jimmy Carter, in true Jimmy Carter fashion, wrote not 1 or 2, but 14 books. He was flat broke when he got out of office, according to historian James Thurber. If you've been all judgy about ex-presidents and their ranches, hold your horses for a minute. You'd probably run off to live like a cowboy too if the government took your car keys. When your term is up, your driving days are done. Unless you have, say, a big ranch out in the country where you can make some rooster tails and donuts in the backyard until your heart gives out. If you're wondering how ex-prezzies get around off private property, look no further than the guys in the happy, snappy black suits. That's right, the Secret Service doesn't just hang around waiting for bad guys. They also become your private armed chauffeurs for the rest of your life. Too bad no one told poor old Joe Biden that. There are a lot of reasons to run for president, he said in typical Biden fashion, but there's one overwhelming reason not to run for president. I like to get that Corvette Z06 from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. Oh, Joe. Someone has to tell him. Anyway, we're really very okay with this rule. Keep those presidents, vice or otherwise, off our streets. At 77, the current model is already too dotty to drive as it is.
Wow, this really
one's a
interesting.
no-brainer. Obviously, a guy who spent the better part of the last decade getting death threats is not going to check his own mail, especially when he's no longer sitting on 4 floors of the White House. Which brings us back to the men in black. They drive, they sort mail, they do everything that, for an average Joe as opposed to Biden Joe, is routine. But never confuse routine for boring in this field. The Secret Service has intercepted pipe bombs meant for the Clintons, the Obamas, and other big figures in recent years at the off-site facilities used to sort the ex-presidential mail. A statement from the Secret Service made October 24, 2018 concerning the mail. The packages were immediately identified during routine mail screening procedures as potential explosive devices and were appropriately handled as such. Both packages were intercepted prior to being delivered to their intended location. In the olden days before 1958, when a man could do a day's work for a day's pay, presidents left the White House with whatever they had when they moved in. No fat pension, no guaranteed book advance deals, just a suit and the best resume America can give. And some of them used it. We mentioned before that Harry Truman put in a lot of hours at his own library in Independence, Missouri. What we didn't tell you was that he had an office there where he worked for 19 years. He'd had enough excitement for one lifetime. It's not a shocker that he'd spent the rest of his life working in a library. Grover Cleveland, not having bombed even one country during his non-consecutive presidential terms, decided to play chicken with the stock market. George Washington turned down an opportunity to be dictator for life, set himself up in style, opening a whiskey distillery at Mount Vernon. Maybe that's how his papers got all soggy. Life is strange for an ex-president. After the most incredible power trip available is over, you have to go and live in a bubble for the rest of your days, surrounded by people who won't let you drive, open your own mail, go anywhere on your own, or say whatever you want on Twitter. Not a lot of people can relate to that. Only other ex-presidents, really. So it comes as no surprise that many former commander-in-chiefs and their former first families are friendly with one another, even if they come from different parties. George W. Bush, for example, referred to Bill Clinton as his brother from another mother in 2017.
Well, you know, they can relate,
On top of the pension, the health care, bodyguards, and paid official travel, the government reserves an annual $150,000 budget for an ex-president to spend on their staff for the first 30 months, that's 2.5 years, of their retirement, after which they kick in $96,000 a year, because apparently they need that too. If that wasn't excessive enough, every office space is comped, courtesy of us, the taxpayers. Judging by the current president's preferences and predilections, we can reasonably expect the furnishings and staff of his future office to be a solid gold fountain filled with blondes. Former presidents can and often do choose to have a state funeral. All well and good. It's as nice a funeral as anyone could ask for. 5 whole days of aircraft flyovers, gunfire salutes, and parades. And of course, flags remain lowered across the country, even if we didn't like you. It's a lot to plan for, and the prezzies spend an extraordinary amount of time doing the planning. For Richard Nixon, it was a chance to die with dignity. He chose to opt out and be buried quietly in his library, as befits a disgraced ex-president who continued to draw a tax-funded paycheck until his death. Not bad, Dick. Not bad. Considering how much of their job is talking, it seems a little incredible that a president can do the bulk of his speech-making after the job is done. But it's true. Many speeches given by those who have held that high office are given outside that office. Take Bill Clinton. He earned a whopping $104.9 million from 542 speeches between January 2001 and January 2013. I've never had any money until I got out of the White House, he told Wolf Blitzer in 2010, but I've done reasonably well since then.
Oh my gosh!
The Former Presidents Act is at it again. We've touched on the travel budget, and now we'll tell you just how things stand. Buckle up. Each and every ex-president is entitled to up to $1 million in security and travel expenses each daggum year, with an additional $500,000 for his spouse. The only catch is barely even a catch. They must be traveling as officials of the United States government, and this stipulation came 10 years after the FPA was put into effect. You've ruled a first world country for the last 4 to 8 years of your life, and you come to the question, what next? Where do you go from the top? And if you are unpopular, is there a chance to make people like you again? Philanthropy, the Nobel Prize. That's the golden ticket to immortality, the eternal love of the people and a better tomorrow. Or it backfires horribly and turns into just more politics and a lot of comedy sketches, as Al Gore might be able to tell you. Jimmy Carter founded the Carter Center to protect election integrity in democratic nations, mediate diplomatic disputes, fight disease, and other awesome things. Or this, he justifiably won the 2002 Nobel Prize. Michael Duffy, co-author of The President's Club, said of Carter's philanthropic work, he's made it difficult for absolutely everyone who's come after him. Because who can keep up? Who indeed? Who's even trying except Michelle Obama? If there's one thing we've learned today, it's that an ex-president's life follows him. After the choices he made, it's perhaps not surprising that when Harry Truman left the White House, he went straight to his mother-in-law's. And dear, sweet, gentle Jimmy Carter got a sensible 2-bedroom house in Georgia. Ronald Reagan, on the other hand, returned to his 7,000 square foot Bel Air mansion. The Obamas and Clintons settled down in some lavish lodgings as well. Healthcare is a bit more confusing. Jimmy Carter gets his health benefits from Emory College, where he was once a teacher, because he wasn't a government employee for the minimum of 5 years requisite to gain healthcare benefits. But the bloated budget of the FPA allows for healthcare. What gives? It's healthcare, so of course it's got to be archaic. All former presidents and their spouses, widows, and children under 18 are entitled to treatment in military hospitals free of charge. They can also enroll in private health insurance plans at their own expense if they want more than the occasional Motrin, and they can afford it. Ex-presidents are getting wealthier between the pension, the speeches, the books, and the little odds and ends we didn't have time to deal with, and the only way to live and struggle like regular folk is to choose to do so. Jimmy certainly did, and we hope he gets a little more love for it, because it was one heck of a choice to make. So what do you think of an ex-president's post-presidential life? Let us know in our comments below.
Very interesting. Wow. There's a lot of money going to them even after the presidency, right? Like the travel budget, hunty, $1 million to travel each year. What the heck? That's so much money just for travel. And what was that pension? $200,000. Healthcare from the military and Secret Service. I don't know, man. I think that's just a reality though, eh? Like, you know what you're getting into when you sign up to be president. But man, that's just, you're really in that life for a long time. But I feel like you get a lot of perks that it's worth it, right? Because you can just travel in private jets all the time, you know, get driven around everywhere. You're going to be safe because you've got the Secret Service. Like, I would have no complaints, honestly. But you're not allowed to drive yourself. Isn't that crazy? Like, you're not allowed to drive yourself for the rest of your life. Like, it really just doesn't matter because you've got the Secret Service. You know, you've got everything you need, everything you want, except for privacy. except for privacy. But yeah, I just think it's really interesting, especially about the speeches. I didn't even think about that. I can't remember which president said this, but they were saying I was never rich until after I stopped being president. I'm like, that's so interesting, because you will get so many, like they said, book deals, appearance deals that you can't really take when you are actually president, because you've got other more important work to do. Obviously they make appearances and stuff, but I don't know, I guess it's just not the same. Maybe they can't get paid for it, I'm not sure. But I do want to know what you guys think. I want to know, do you think being president would be worth all the hassle afterwards for the rest of your life? Or would you be like, no, stuff that, the benefits are not worth it, I prefer my privacy, hunty? What do you think? For me, I don't know if I'd want to be president. That's a lot. A lot of death threats, a lot of people hating you, you can't please everyone, and just no privacy. No, it's not worth it for me. It's not worth it. Even though you get so many benefits, right? Just so much money, so many beneficial things to your life, like free travel, all that. But nah, bro. I don't think I could do it. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe to my channel and let me know what video you want me to react to next, either going down onto my website, which I will link down below, and you can make recommendations on there, or just leaving a comment down below. Definitely let me know what you want to see next, and apart from that, I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.